Hello everyone and welcome to Merlin's Manor. Today I'm going to be reviewing Disney's The Haunted Mansion Call of the Spirits game. And this is the Magic Kingdom Parks edition. There's also a Disneyland version. One of the big differences is we got a glow-in-the-dark set of hitchhiking ghosts here, as well as the artwork's a little bit different in this version. And those are the main differences. And of course you got this cool little sticker down here that says 50th anniversary there. And so beyond that, that's the gameplay is going to be the same. And so let's go ahead and get into an overview of how to play the game, and then we'll come back to see what I thought. So here's how the gameplay works. You're going to start with the hitchhiking ghosts in the purple room, and at the beginning of each round, you're going to flip an event card over. It's going to tell you how many spaces the ghosts are going to move, and in what direction, in this case counterclockwise, and it's going to give you a special thing that's going to happen that round. And so in this case, we're going to move the ghosts, hitchhiking ghost 1, 2 spaces, and then you go ahead and for a 4-player game you're going to put out 7 cards, starting with 2 where the hitchhiking ghosts are, and then you're just going to go around the board, 7 cards just like that. And of course if you were playing with less players, you'd take away 1 per less amount of players. So a 3-player game you would have 1 less, a 2-player game you'd have 2 less, and you'd add more of course if you're having more players. So that's how that part works. And if you notice these different cards, you're going to be doing a set collection type of thing, trying to get different sets to do different things. Some cards will work by themselves in different ways, and we'll get a little bit more detail about that later on. But that's basically how you're going to score points, is based on how many points on each of these cards is going to be your points there. And there's different things you can do on your turn. You're going to do 3 actions, and any of these actions you can do multiple times except for 2 of them, and I'll get into that in just a moment. You can move. And you can move to any, when you're in the seance room here, you can move to any of the corresponding rooms with 1 move. So let's say if I wanted to move here, I could do that. And then for an action, I could take a card that's in the room that I'm in. So I could take this card, and this one will let me discard a haunt card if I had it, but I don't have a haunt card. And then I could move again if I wanted to, or I could turn this to face a different way, like that. I could, once per turn, duel another player. And the way that works is each player will take one of these, and they will secretly set it to a number. Let's say this person set it to 3, and this one did 1. And what would happen is a player can choose to duel another player to try and get a card that they have, that maybe that player wants. And then secretly they set these things, and that's how many haunt cards you're going to take. And haunt cards are not good, and I'll get into that in just a moment. And so you don't want too many of these, but if you really want a good card that somebody else has, you might want to duel them and get that card. Now, in most of the scenarios, you're going to both take that many haunt cards, whether you won or lost. There is one event card that says that only the winner gets the haunt cards, but most of the time, you're both going to get whatever you bid. And so afterwards, you reveal, and whoever has the highest number gets the card. Or if you tied, then the person that currently had the card will get to keep that card. The other thing you can do if you're in the seance room is you can discard a haunt card. So there are various things that are going to give you haunt cards in the game. The first thing is if you take a card from where the ghosts are, you will get a haunt card. Also, if the ghosts happen to move past you when you're on one of these outside rooms, you would get 1 haunt card if they passed you. Or if they landed on where you are, you'd get 2 haunt cards. You can also get haunt cards by dueling, and you get haunt cards by things like this where it says draw a haunt card when you collect this card. Of course, there are some that allow you to get rid of haunt cards. And so these haunt cards, they look like this. They have a number between 1 and 3 on them. And you're going to, at the end of the game, add up how many points you have on your haunt cards. And the person who has the most points for their haunt cards is going to have to get rid of the set that they have the most cards of. The most ghosts that you have of that kind, you're going to have to get rid of. And so if you had, let's say, this guy here, and you managed to collect 5 of him, or 5 of this symbol here with the harp on it, you'd have 25 points that you'd have to get rid of if that was the one you had the most of, which probably would be if you had 5 of that set. And so you have to get rid of all of those if you had the most haunt cards. And so one other thing you can do on your turns, you can move, if you're in there in the seance room and you have an action to take still, you can discard one of your haunt cards. And also there's like, this will let you get rid of them. And there's a few other ways through events that you'll be able to get rid of haunt cards. But in general, you're not going to be able to get rid of very many on a round. And so you're going to want to do your best not to take too many of those And so you have to be very careful when you're dueling, or when you are taking from where the ghosts are, or where you leave yourself maybe at the end of the round, hoping that they'll go this way, but then they come this way and you get haunt cards that way. And so you kind of have to be careful about that, and kind of be careful about how much time you spend getting rid of the haunt cards versus getting ghost cards. Now the game ends when this card comes up. It's going to be one of the last 4 cards in the deck, and it says final round. You're going to put 3 extra ghost cards in the mansion, and then everybody will know they get one last turn before the game ends, and you add up points, and whoever has the most points at that point wins the game. Okay, so this game focuses on set collection, and so you're going to be collecting different types of ghosts. These ones here are the stretching portraits, and they're going to want you to get either 3 of the same symbol for 15 points, or 1 of each of the symbols for 18 points. Then you have the Tea Party ghosts, which are worth 2 points straight up, and allow you to move the hitchhiking ghosts 2 rooms, which you can move them either somewhere where it's going to be convenient for you, or you can cause others to pick up haunt cards by moving them across them. Here we have, this guy is the groom, and he's worth 1 point by himself, but he allows you to draw a card from the ghost deck when you collect him. These ones here are the paintings and artifacts, and if you have 1 of them, they're worth 3 points. If you have 2, they're worth 0 points. If you have 3, they're worth 12 points. And so you want to kind of mitigate whether you think you can get all 3, or if you want to just stop with the 1 there. Here you have the ballroom ghosts, which are worth 4 points, and you draw a haunt card when you collect the card. So that's kind of bad for you, but you can still get rid of it, especially if you get one of these ghosts, which are the grinning ghosts, and they give you 2 points, but allow you to discard a haunt card when you collect it. Here you have the dancing ghosts, and they're not worth anything by themselves, but as a pair, they're worth 7 points. Keep in mind, you can get multiples of any of these sets as well. Here, you have the musician ghosts, and they are worth 25 points if you collect all 5. And so, but they're only worth 1 if you just have 1 of them. And so they kind of raise a little bit exponentially there as you go up. And then you have these various different special ghosts. You have one here that's worth 3 points, or 13 if you have the lowest value of haunt cards at the end of the game. You also have other ones that just give you kind of 1 or 2 points themselves, and then they give you an extra 2 for each of a certain category. Like this one wants dancing ghosts, this one wants grooms, this one is 1 point for each of different icons, and this one here is worth 2 points for each of the portrait icons. And so you're going to be collecting these different sets to try and get the most points by the end of the game. Now I really like these ghosts here, especially the ones that come with the Magic Kingdom version that glow in the dark. They may not be the most, you're not going to really notice them that well if you're playing in a game setting, because, well, you're going to need some light to be able to see them. They don't glow unless it's really dark, but they're still kind of cool. These are nice. I wouldn't say there's anything special about them, but they decent enough quality for what they are as far as the player markers go. You got 6 different colors for 6 different players. These are kind of well made, these dials here, and so very happy with these. They don't feel like they're going to break down, and they turn easily, so you can easily get them where you want them to go, but not so easily that you won't be able to keep them where they're supposed to be. Now the cards are kind of a cheap quality, but for the price that you're paying, as well as kind of being a mass market kind of game, you kind of expect that kind of quality. It's not a game breaker here. It has a cool little candelabra for the first player token. I kind of like that. Now for something I don't like about the components is these cards here for the haunt cards. These are literally the smallest cards they could have made. I don't think you could possibly make something any smaller, although now somebody's going to probably try. But the problem is you can't shuffle these things no matter how hard you try. There's no sleeve size that's going to fit them for you to be able to do mass shuffling. And so these are basically a nightmare to do anything with as far as shuffling goes. And so, yeah, they could have done better with these. That's a big negative right there. But as far as the rest of it goes, the board, the artwork looks cool. This is kind of a neat little box. I like the box that they come in. Take a closer look at that. It goes together and looks like that. And then, well, actually with the cards in there, it would look differently. It would look kind of like that. And so it's kind of a cool little box. But the cards that go in it are trash. And I wish they had done a better job on that. The rest of the game, I really do enjoy. It was actually kind of a surpriser. I expected to like the game, but I didn't expect it to have as deep of a strategy as it does for a fairly lightweight game as it is. It's not going to be the heaviest game you're going to seek out, but there is a lot of back and forth between trying to decide if you're going to take those haunt cards, if you're going to risk getting haunt cards from where you leave yourself on the board, or if you're going to draw back into the seance room to keep yourself safe. There's a lot of strategy that goes along with this. Whether you're going to get a whole bunch of one set, or if you're going to spread yourself out a bit. And spreading yourself out a bit can be good if you accidentally wind up taking more haunt cards than everybody else, and having different, so that you're not hurt as badly by losing that. And so there's a lot of strategy actually that goes into this game. There's a little bit of take that as far as moving the ghosts onto somebody else and making them take haunt cards, or pass somebody else to take haunt cards. There's strategy as far as whether you want to duel or not. And maybe even if you want to bluff dueling, you might duel somebody and then still say 0 so that they'll bid and take haunt cards for what you're going to do. And so there's just so many different pieces that can come together as far as making a strategy that I didn't really expect from this game, and yet it's there. The set collection is just ingenious. It's similar in ways to games like Sushi Go, but there's a deeper strategy there as you're going around the board and trying to figure out which ones you're going to take there. You have a little bit more agency as far as that goes. And of course, others they're going to go ahead of you in turn order, may take what you want, and then you have to settle for something else. Whether you want to take cards that are where the ghosts are at in the moment and get those haunt, because if the ghosts are right there and you go there and take the card, you're going to have to get a haunt card as well. But 2 cards come out in that location whenever you where those ghosts are, and so you may want to go ahead and take extra cards. And so in order to do that, you have to go there and take 2 haunt cards and get 2 from there. And so there's just a lot of deeper strategy than I was expecting going into this game. I enjoy it very much. I give it an 8 out of 10, which for the price point here is a great game for that price point. It's a great family weight game. Our family enjoys playing it very much. It's one of my teenage daughter's favorite games now. And so that's a big plus right there. And our younger kids can play it as well. It's not going to be above their head. And so if you have a family, I especially recommend this game. But I think even for adults, this is a great game that you would enjoy very much for a lighter kind of game. Thank you for watching this review of the Haunted Mansion, and I'll catch you in the next video. It's the stretching hallway.